Where's the emergency, the national emergency to build a wall?
There's a lot of data you just presented there, so I'd like to go through it each one piece at a time if I could. So let's start with your point about the border crossings in the year 2000. Well, as you know, when George Bush came into office, illegal immigration total doubled from 6 million.
Nobody knows what Stephen Miller is. What is Stephen Miller talking about when he opens this clip? Deus, deluge, dash. I don't know what he's talking about. If anybody knows, please, drop me a line.
Release of illegal aliens due to a patchwork of court rulings and loopholes in our federal laws and changing tactics from smugglers and transnational organizations.
I don't want to go into all of this, but I mean, let's just focus on that one issue. Right. 4 times as many people were coming across the border in 2000 as now. So why is that a national emergency?
Back then, 95% could be turned around in a matter of days. As a result of loopholes, activist judicial rulings, and increasing sophistication from cartels, the reality is that more than half of people crossing the border are what we call non-impactable. They can't be turned around. And so what you see is sophisticated operations and smugglers will actually push out migrants and children and family units to divert border agents, and then because there's not security areas with the wall,
I'm pretty sure what he meant here is activists, the judges. How about a little enunciation, Mr. Miller? Well, still the problem is that the drugs are coming through ports of entry.
You cannot conceive
of
through
the porous holes in a 2,000
without a strong, secure border. It is fundamental and essential to the idea of sovereignty and national survival to have control over who enters and doesn't enter the country. And we can get into the statistics. You want to talk about drugs? There's been a huge increase in drug deaths since George W. Bush and Barack Obama were in office.
I understand that, but 80 to 90% of those drugs that are being seized don't come across in unfenced areas. They come from ports of entry. Those are your own Customs and Border Patrol numbers.
Which is the reason why we also asked for additional resources at the ports of entry. But Chris,
which you got.
But Chris, the problem with the statement that you're apprehending 80 or 90% of drugs at ports of entry is that's like saying you apprehend most contraband at TSA checkpoints at airports. You apprehend the contraband there because that's where you have the people, that's where you have the screeners. I assure you, if we had people of that same density,
the worst analogy ever. We're comparing a 2,000-mile-long border to the TSA in an airport.
But as a matter of national security...
So if we believe Stephen Miller, all we have to do is put the TSA on the border. Here's the problem where Mike Wallace nails it.
Had said he's invoking the
drugs are coming in through ports of entry. But see, Stephen Miller is a class act racist, and he wants to build his wall for his racist base. Doesn't matter to him that the majority of the drugs that are going to be seized are not coming through porous holes. See, that's his whole idea. He's got people coming up in the caravans carrying knapsacks of drugs. But really, El Chapo was bringing drugs over through 18-wheelers right through ports of entry. Nice try, Stephen Miller. Nice try.